Hi 21 Days to Fitness friends. This is Anita Stone, and we did a little cooking this weekend, and so rather than turning on the video to show you how I'm cooking these things, I decided to just make a summary video and tell you about some of the things that I did and how I did them, and I think you can copy it pretty easily by just listening and seeing the end product. When we were at the grocery store, they had some bananas on sale for 25 cents a pound, and the bananas were very spotty and brown, and so we decided to make banana bread. So we bought some bananas, went over to the cooking aisle, bought the banana bread mixes just in the packets. You can buy whole grain now mixes, so you don't have to make things from scratch with whole wheat. You can just buy the mix, maybe not quite as good, but I think it's close. And so we bought 4 or 5 packets of those, and we made this big pan of banana bread. That's how much we've eaten so far. And besides just getting the whole grain, we did some other things to make it more healthy. First of all, in the mix, it calls for egg and oil, usually, on all of these mixes, like brownies and that type of thing. And so when you cook those things, you'll put the exact amount of applesauce for whatever it calls for oil. So for example, on this brownie mix, it asks for a half of a cup of oil. Well, that's not going to happen in my house. And so half a cup of applesauce right there. You're getting apples, you're getting fiber, and the brownies are just as good. And so we put that in the banana bread. I also added, I have a container always in my kitchen. This is cranberries and walnuts. So I buy the little packets of dried cranberries and crushed walnuts. I always buy crushed walnuts. I don't want whole walnuts usually because I'm sprinkling these over salads and oatmeal and putting them in baked goods. And I just put it in whatever I can fit it in. Whatever it goes with, it goes in. And see the little scoop cup in there? So I just scoop it out, put it in there. So I put 2 or 3 scoops of this in the banana bread. I also put in about a cup of oatmeal. This is regular oats, and whenever you're putting in something dry like that, a whole cup, you need to balance it out with something moist. Now we had put the bananas in there, but it takes a little bit more, so I also put in about a half a cup of applesauce. And you can guess on that. I could have even put a little bit more, I think, but you don't want it to be too moist. You don't want it to be too wet. So you can kind of play with it depending on how much of your banana bread mix you have and what size you bought. And I had to guess a little bit this time because I was making a larger pan than I usually do. So you're saying, well, why did you make such a big banana bread? Well, it freezes really well. So we ate this much, about a third of it, in the last couple of days. And so now I'll take the rest of it probably tonight, cut it up into squares, put it in Ziploc bags, and put it in the freezer. I'll put a couple of them in the refrigerator, the rest in the freezer, and then the kids can just grab those and take it with them when they go in the car for a snack, or I could take it with me and have it for a breakfast sometime, like on my way to work. I could take it with me and have that with my protein shake, so that would be a good breakfast. So this is really a healthy bread. It's a healthy alternative to just the plain banana bread mix that you would buy. And I really like banana bread, especially with walnuts in it. I just think it's unbelievable. And the cranberries are good in it too. Now the reason I have the brownie mixes here, the kids were having some friends over, so we bought some brownie mixes. And so this one, besides the oil, also called for 3 large eggs. Well, 3 large eggs is 15 grams of fat. And we don't want to put any more fat in foods than we have to, especially saturated fat, which is what eggs have. And so instead of these 3 large eggs, you could use 4 egg whites. If you do that, your brownies will be a little more cakey. They won't be as fudgy. And so let's say if you're taking these brownies to a party or something, and you say, well, okay, 3 eggs is 15 grams of fat. I'm going to cut this brownie pan up into 12 brownies. So if you're using the 3 eggs, you're really only putting in approximately 1 gram of fat extra per brownie, per person. Well, that's not significant. That's not a big deal. So if you're doing something like that, taking the brownies to a party, okay, go ahead and use the 3 eggs, but you don't have to use the ½ cup of oil. You can cut that out. So that's what we do. And then one other time, this is empty, I had this left over from another time that we bought these brownies, and I saved it to make a video because this is the Duncan Hines snack size brownie mix. So I picked this up one day and we brought it home and we made the brownies. And I'm telling you what, this snack size mix made the smallest brownie pan. I mean, we're looking at it like it was hardly enough for 3 people. The brownies were like this thin. And so it's good for portion control. I wouldn't say you're really getting your money's worth, but, you know, hey, if it doesn't make a huge big pan of brownies, then you're not going to eat a whole lot of brownies. So, you know, I didn't think that was that bad. The other thing that we made recently was banana pudding. And my mom makes this wonderful homemade banana pudding with sugar and whole milk, and it's awesome. And but you can make a modified version of that that's low fat. So Jell-O is the only brand that makes the sugar-free, fat-free banana cream pudding. So we buy about 2 of these and then just layer it with sliced bananas and vanilla wafers. I don't think that the reduced fat vanilla wafers do quite as well. So I do buy the regular vanilla wafers. And you don't get that many cookies in the box anyway. And the reduced fat, it's not that much less fat, truthfully. And so I think the regular ones make a better banana pudding. So I use